Hey all, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to class things up a bit with this guy. It is Tracks, and he would consider himself very classy. This is the new Kingdom Tracks, and he's going to be our focus in comparison to this guy this time around in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, loud my baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all my social media links, all of that in the description down below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member, baby. And this is the new Kingdom Tracks. A lot here to like, some things to not like. Do I think it's the strongest that they've released in the Kingdom line? No. Do I think it's good? Well, we're about to find out when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And yes, indeed, it's time for a review with some style by way of Kingdom Tracks. I want to give a big shout out to a good friend of the channel, Jay Holla. This wave has not shown up in my neck of the woods as of this recording. I am very, very thankful that he was able to find one and send it my way. So yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to look at this guy. But of course, before we get into the character, who is somewhat controversial, because of things like QC and tabbing and whatnot. We'll see how all that goes with my copy. We need to begin though by taking a quick look at that packaging first. And of course we have nice packaging. I wish that the window wasn't so small, but it is what it is. We have Tracks here in robot mode and in vehicle mode. Your typical Kingdom stuff there on that side, and then back here are Tracks in his not one, not two, but three modes. Because technically he has three modes, even though he was never called a triple changer. Our guy got some nifty instructions. They're big, they're bold, they're bright, they're two-sided. And of course, everyone's favorite thing, a collector card. This one's Megatron, and if we pull down the corner, we can see he becomes Galvatron. Who saw that coming? And so we get to our boy himself, because the accessories are on him. We'll see them as we go through. And this is where things immediately begin to get interesting. The original Tracks, of course, from the Reveal the Shield line, although mine has an Autobot symbol on it, came like it, who knows. But he was great for the era he came out. Of course, the car was highly stylized. There were things about it that certainly weren't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a great Tracks, clocked in at 96 grams all in. Modern day, well, not even modern day, because modern day has been getting smaller and smaller. But before the War for Cybertron trilogy, the going mass for a deluxe was 84 grams, and I'm pleased to say that the Kingdom Tracks actually clocks in at 80 grams. Yes, he gives up a few grams, but I can guarantee you that the engineering here is kind of bonkers in a lot of ways. Though I wish they had used some different materials. We'll talk about that in a bit. What about the coloration? Look, I looked at the original Tracks an embarrassingly long time ago in episode 27. So I was probably pretty kind to him then, to be honest with you. But the original Tracks, I look at him and I think to myself, yeah, it's pretty Tracks-ish. I mean, he's definitely missing like the yellow square, and he's missing some of the detail on his arms, but like a lot of it was there, and I probably gave him a solid 8. The Kingdom one, you would think, is even better. But again, I have to give it a solid 8. And some people are going to be shocked by me saying that, because the silhouette of his body definitely looks more Tracks. The Kingdom one definitely has the body type of Tracks more. But there's still things that are missing here. For example, on his wings, talking about the Kingdom one now. As a matter of fact, let's get the RTS one out of here. He had, you know, tremendous paint. His articulation is also tremendous. His articulation, honestly, 10, and his transformation, honestly, I probably gave it a 9. Overall, the RTS Tracks probably about a 9. I can't really recall now, but he is a good Tracks. The Kingdom lad, though, I still gotta call his paint an 8. On the white wings. We should have red on the top, and then on the bottom of the wing we should have some red and a little bit of a yellow accent. We just have stark white. Up above here where these blasters are, that should be red and yellow. On his knees where we have the white, there should be a little highlight of red there as well. Down on his shins where it's all gray, that should be blue. His feet should be gray with the toe tips blue and actually a red like triangle detail on them. Here they're black. So there's definitely still things here paint-wise that were left off, but I get it because there's a lot of clear plastic used here and it's all slathered with paint. So that's where the paint budget got used. Personally, had it been me, I would have suggested that you do the small paint details, use blue plastic, and in terms of the windows, I don't know, you could have painted them black or something, I think it would have been fine. I don't know, I mean, woulda, coulda, shoulda, you know? But I'm gonna say 8 as well, for different reasons than the RTS. Okay, so the articulation, one quirky thing to note is that the backpack can actually swivel. There is a rectangular tab that you would have kind of undone, I think, for it to work. But it can kind of swivel back and forth a little bit. If you have the blasters up on top, maybe it lets you rotate them ever so slightly. Just something worth noting. I'll try and remember to show it as we go through here. But starting things off, we have the head that can go left and right. Not really any up and down. The arms can go all the way around, out to the side. We have an elbow to 90 degrees bicep swivel. Nothing at the wrist. That's a bummer. We have a waist, we have the hip skirt that can come all the way up. The legs can go well forward, they can go well backward. They can go all the way out to the side. We have a thigh swivel, we have 90 degrees at the knee. We have a foot that can go forward and up and left and right. The foot is very similar, the engineering for the foot, very, very similar to that of the Generations dark mount or skull grain, if you will. So like you can do everything you want here, and it's weird. A lot of people have talked about this guy having tolerance, not so much tolerance issues, looseness. But on mine, I find like I get it. I move a joint and it feels kind of loose, but then when I go to shake them, it stays in place. It's so strange. I'm going to say that his articulation overall is about a 9. So we have an 8, we have a 9, 8.5 so far. The guy's not doing too bad. Again, you know, these things can tab up there. I guess we'll take a closer look at those accessories next. We have this nicely molded double barrel blaster thing. I'm holding onto a peg that pegs into a slot, and of course there's another hole on top where if you wanted you could put his hand blaster in there. Speaking of which, this is his nicely molded black hand blaster. Simple enough, but it does the trick. By the way, I forgot to mention that his backpack actually can wiggle back and forth as well. It's weird. A lot of people have also complained and said his body's really hollow. I don't find his body so hollow, but I do find that the backpack is sticking way off the body, and that is kind of odd. Nevertheless, kind of a solid bot so far. Let's get into the transformation for the guy. So we can bring this down and bring this down and fold this in, and I'm just going to leave this out to the side for now. Again, fold the wrist in, pretty typical standard fare so far, I think. We got all that. Then we can pick off the backpack, and we can even pick up this section, which I will kind of get in a better position in a little bit. The whole body here is interesting. We unfurl it by pulling out on the chest. The chest was pushed in, we pull it out, and it was tabbed in right there. There's a little tab in here that tabs in right there. We untabbed that and we brought the kind of whole lower body down. We rotate this around and it will end up coming down over. We're going to end up eventually too putting those arms down, but we really need to deal with the legs, because the legs are the secret to this guy. If you don't work the legs right, this guy's not gonna work for you, man. So we rotate at the waist, and we can see the way the hood will generally be. These legs come down underneath, and they rotate down underneath. This is when things get really bonkers. Oh, actually before they rotate down, I'm sorry, we have to open out the leg and open out the shin of the leg. My mistake. Then we can bring this down and bring this down. Now this is when things get weird and hard to explain. There's two, maybe I can show it from back here. There's two white armatures in here. One for this side and one for collapsing the knee. What you're looking to do is bring this down this way and collapse the knee all the way in. And after you have the knee collapsed all the way in, you should be able to bring the leg up around, and the foot should be able to kind of come up over like that. It is a bit bonkers, I'm not going to lie. It really is a little bit bonkers. And then that foot should kind of go up over the body a little bit there. We're going to do the same on this side. We're going to, again, collapse the knee all the way in. We bring this other armature down on the side, and then that allows that foot to come up over. Now, at this point, we want to solidify the front by really making sure we got everything in, and you know you have everything in and positioned when you can close the shins over again. When you can close those over, you've got everything lined up the way it should be lined up. And you can now kind of tab all of that together. There, all of that now tabbed in, nice and snug-like. Okay, whew. Then we can come here to the side and bring these down even on the side for now. And now we're going to bring this piece down. This is the linchpin. It needs to be lined up pretty perfect. It needs to come down. You need to line up the front windshield and the roof. And then there's a little rectangular peg here that goes down to a notch in there. That is where people have a lot of issue, man. So I'm going to bring these arms down for now. We got the tires in. We're going to leave the arms down for now. And I'm going to begin to bring this down. And going to line that up. We have to line up the sides over here, which is a little challenging. And once we have those lined up, then we can start pushing the rest of this down. It's a challenge to do. It is a chore to do. I'm going to get this pegged in off camera just because it's a little easier. I think there is a little notch there for it. Can I get it in here? From this distance, I'm a little unnerved trying to get it in. I'm going to get that pegged in and then we'll finish it off. A little finagling and finesse required. There's two tabs that go kind of in under here, and there's a square tab that goes down. Then you come here and you should be able to kind of push this one up and that. And then on this side you should be able to push this one up and that. You may notice now that this side for me doesn't stay up because of a QC issue, the one QC issue that I have. But let's look at the vehicle first. Okay, first of all, you can use the peg hole back there to put this on, and then the peg hole that's on this to put the black blaster on, as I explained earlier, for storage. He rolls just fine, rolls great. Actually, I love the silver rims, looks good. I think that this is very nicely done. I think it looks good. I think it functions quite well. Not everybody is going to agree because some people have had some real issues with this guy. I'm lucky that I haven't had major issues. I have one QC issue, which we'll talk about momentarily. But in vehicle mode, yeah, this looks like tracks. I'm cool with it. Getting here, not too bad, other than you're having to kind of squeeze and compress some clear plastic that's been painted, and I do find that a little unnerving, much like I did with Studio Series Jazz. I don't think anything's going to happen to it, but I know that clear plastic has a reputation even if it's painted. Now, to get to the last mode, we're going to take this off for just a moment, and we're going to flip this out. By the way, these fins here should also have some red detailing on them that they don't have. Then we should be able to, oh wait, bring that down and bring that down. Oh, I brought down the whole thing there. Bring this tire out on the side and bring this down to the front and rotate it around thusly. Over here I need to get this arm off. Again, with it down, bring it out. That's up, and we rotate this thusly. And if you are so inclined and you want to, you can once again peg that in there, and now you have Tracks in his flying car mode. Now, I had noted a minor QC issue. By the way, getting to this is super easy and it makes perfect sense for Trax's odd flying car mode. I'm going to say that the transformation honestly is a solid 9. Now, that one QC issue. The whole reason that this arm of my Trax will not stay up in car mode is because of that little chip right there. It was knocked around in the package pretty badly during transit, so I don't know if it broke there. I don't know if I broke it. I don't know if it was a factory defect, but that one little chip is what keeps this arm from locking in flush like it should in vehicle mode. And so Trax overall is about an 8.75. He had around an 8.5 for his look. He had a 9 for his articulation, and again he has about a 9 or so for his transformation. So yeah, about an 8.75. He is definitely not the strongest in the Kingdom line, but I also don't think he's the weakest in the Kingdom line. He's exceedingly middle of the road. Falls in line generally with a traditional deluxe, but the engineering here is higher. So the mass is a couple of grams lighter, but the engineering is definitely higher. A lot of people don't like the legs and find them cumbersome. I think the legs are brilliant. I think they're genius, and I think they're inspired. I just wish that the feet were handled a little bit better. I think he's a bit of a win if you can avoid QC issues. The problem is, I think that you're gonna struggle to avoid QC issues with this guy. And here we are once again. Now, first things first, this was always, to me, a good Trax. Highly stylized, no doubt about it, but it definitely resembled the character, even if a little stout. I always wished on my copy that the ankles were a little tighter. Try and turn those legs. Just to help stand just slightly better. He wasn't bad, but every now and again, you know, he would topple over. A really good Trax. But then this guy came along. First things first, the silhouette, the shape of the body, very much more like Trax. The transformation is kind of bonkers, and I've heard a lot of kind of issues with it. Going back from vehicle mode, kind of untabbing part of the hood here that's now up underneath, I do find that unnerving. All of this being clear plastic that's painted, also a little bit unnerving. There was, as I mentioned, the red serial number or whatever it was down here on his shin. I mean, you didn't have anywhere better you could put that than there in plain view. He looks quite good, great articulation, interesting transformation. I do wish that we had the red that he should have on his little wings. I do wish we had the red and yellow that should be up here. There's certain things left out of the paint that I wish were done. The blue that should be on his legs, for example. But it's definitely not bad, and it most definitely is Trax. I love the look of the alt mode, assuming you get everything to peg in well, which some people have had issue with. I like him, but I think that this is an example of a fan favorite character that looks great, that people are going to want, but he is definitely priced more than he's actually worth. There's not enough value here for full price in my estimation. Am I glad I have him? Yes. Do I feel like I overpaid for him? Yes. But I bite the bullet and I accept that. I'm not going to lie and say, hey, he was worth every dollar, when he obviously isn't. I like him, but there's still things here that could be improved upon to give us a more ideal Tracks. That's my take. Let me know what you think about Kingdom Tracks. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member. While you're at it, man, hit the subscribe button. Stick around, have some fun with us, and don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit to either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.